going on, dude?
How you
Got a
doing?
big year coming up, huh?
Yes, sir. Got everything's jamming and rocking and rolling.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, let me see here. Kim reached out, said you had some updates prior to this year's surfing event.
Yes, sir. Got all kinds of updates going on. I started in Australia in March. That was the kickoff of the third year of the Adaptive Surfing Professional World Championship Tour, sponsored by Visit Oceanside. And yeah, the record-setting event with 94 athletes from 17 countries. It was the first international adaptive surf event in Australia history. So
Oh man.
we gave away $34,000 in prize money. So that was the Blackmore's Australia Pro Adaptive Surfing Championships, sponsored by Blackmore's and put on by Mark Mono Stewart, who's another amazing adaptive athlete, five-time U.S. Open champ, two-time AASP world champ. He's won the ISA event a few times. So the guy's very decorated and very well respected.
That's cool, dude. So you got like this, is this part of the worldwide tour that Kim sent me the press release on?
Yes, sir. This
Okay.
is part of the Visit Oceanside Adaptive Surfing Professional World Championship Tour.
So this is the first time that you're doing this type of an event?
No, this is our third year. So
Okay.
we started in 2022 with two events, the Hawaii Adaptive Surfing Championships and then the U.S. Open Adaptive Surfing Championships. 2023, we added Costa Rica. So it started in Hawaii and then it went to Costa Rica at Boca Barranca in Punta Arenas, and which is a world-class break. And then finished up in 2023 at the U.S. Open Adaptive Surfing Championships here in Oceanside, sponsored by the University of St. Augustine. And then this year, Visit Oceanside again has signed on for a 3-year extension through 2027. And we added Australia this year. So now we're a 4-stop world championship tour. Last year we gave away $134,000 in prize money between the 3 stops. And this year it's looking upwards of about $180,000. We were hoping to hit that $200,000 mark, but we'll be just short of that.
So that's the overall prize, or is it broken down into divisions?
Yeah, each event gives away about $34,000 in prize money. And the overall point winners will get another additional about $3,000 check. So the overall point winners after the events are done, each event you get points for, and at the very end, the overall point winner will get an extra check. And then we'll crown our world champion as well.
Okay, sweet. So this all wraps up at the U.S. Open.
Correct. And
Okay.
in September.
Few ideas. Free surf camps this summer. Here we go. You got the list.
Yes, sir.
Talk about that.
Well, Stoke For Life is built its foundation on doing free surf camps for the disabled people, or for people with disabilities, excuse me. And yeah, that's our give. So we've had to, last couple of years we've kind of fell off on the surf camps because COVID really put a dent in that, and then getting it back up and running was a little bit difficult. But we've got the support of the University of St. Augustine, which will lend us their students for volunteers, and then we just get back on the PR road, and the help with Kim and Josh and other marketing networks that we can reach out. And we'll start our surf camps on July 20th, and
Okay.
we'll have one in July, and we'll have one in August, and then we'll have the U.S. Open in September. There's a free day of surfing there. We can get a couple people in the water. It's not technically a surf camp. And then we'll have another one in October and November. We may have one in December, but it's going to be weather permitting. So we haven't put that on the schedule, but we usually have one in around that time if the weather permits. So we usually have about 4 or 5 per year, sometimes 6. The tour's really kind of taken a lot of my time to, March, we might normally have one, but we're in Australia in March. April has been kind of rainy and a little bit unpredictable for a surf camp. So we held off on that because we're preparing to go to Hawaii. So there's been a lot of work involved in that as well.
How many days are these camps? Is it 1 day or 2 days?
Just 1 day, 4
Okay.
hours. You show up at 8
okay.
o'clock. You have some people get you in the water, different boards, different ways to try out. A lot of times we'll have new surfers or novice surfers that need a lot of help. And then obviously we're going to have a bunch of already, versed athletes that just come for the support and say, hey, you know what, we just want to be able to get launched in the water and have somebody that'll be there to make sure that we can get in and out of the water. And they just come there for basic training. Sometimes they come there for coaching. A lot of times, we're preparing for another event. So after June, we're still preparing for the U.S. Open. So a lot of people are still in that training mode, still trying to get. Oceanside is pretty wave of consequence, regardless if you're surfing at the harbor where we hold our surf camps, or if you're surfing at the pier where the U.S. Open's held. It's my philosophy is if you can surf the Oceanside Harbor, North Jetty, you can pretty much surf anywhere. It's a very, challenging break. It's a beach break. It breaks real hard. So if you can manage that and you can surf outside and get some open face waves and you can navigate it, then pretty much you can surf anywhere.
Yeah, we had some really crazy waves last year. I remember they were like at pier level.
Yeah.
And people are being driven into the pier. Are we going to be on the other side this year?
Normally we would be on the north side, so the current would go from south to north, and we could use that as a channel. But there was construction going on the north side parking lot last year, so that drove us to the south side, which the ambiance of the contest is, the footprint of the contest is better, but the surf is a little bit more ominous and kind of, people don't like going through the pier, but it's part of the deal. It's part of the allure of the U.S. Open. It's not, it's not a fancy dance wave, man. It's a wave of consequence, and it's a wave that you really have to know, and you have to have some knowledge of the surf and the current and the waves and the ocean. So it's a very professional setting for us. It's where a lot of world championship events have been held as far as able-bodied surfing. So it's kind of that arena that we want to give to the championship tour. We want to bring them to Oceanside. We want there to be a whoa factor. When you look at the surf, it's like, whoa, okay, now let me study the waves. Let me see where I need to be and where, most importantly, I need not to be. And that's the allure of the U.S. Open, man. It is a wave of consequence, and it's not for the faint of heart.
Had me fainting on the beach, man. So let's talk about the U.S. Open versus the ISA. I know that happens later in the year.
The ISA is predominantly for the parasurfing platform. It's an amateur platform as far as the status goes. We're a professional platform. They're for a Paralympic platform, so they would go a different route. And it's a team sport where the professional platform is individually driven. So it's a little bit of a different platform, but we want to help that platform as much as we can. We want to try to show the Paralympic Committee that adaptive surfing on the professional level is worldwide, international, and is at a very high level. And so, and if that helps the Paralympic platform and that helps the ISA get a yes to say, yes, you guys are in 2028, that's, we're here for the community. We're not here to try to divide or cause separation. We want to help as much as we can as far as that Paralympic push and to get it over the edge as far as acceptance. And that's not our main, that's not the ASP's main focus. Our main focus is to give adaptive athletes a professional platform where they can A, win money as a professional athlete, B, get sponsorship being a professional athlete and being on a professional tour traveling the world, having the same opportunities that able-bodied surfers do. Adaptive surfing, adaptive sports in general is a severely underserved community as far as sponsorship and support. So most of the athletes are applying for grants from High Fives or Challenged Athletes Foundation and other places that will support them and give them travel opportunity, give them grants for travel or equipment. What we would like to see with the ASP and helping from sponsors like Visit Oceanside is raising that level to where they can say, hey, I won a world championship, or I'm a ranked surfer on the ASP World Tour, and I've been ranked for the last 3 years, and they find sponsorship that way, just like a normal adaptive surfer, a normal able-bodied surfer would. If they were on tour and they were ranked in the top 5, they would have amazing sponsorship opportunities from Billabong or Rip Curl or O'Neill or any of the other platforms, Monster, Rockstar, any of those types of sponsorships that sponsor action sports. And so we want to kind of help provide that for adaptive athletes, and that's the main focus of the ASP. But also, if we can help the Paralympic push, we're more than happy to do that. And if we can show the Paralympic Committee, that adaptive surfing is worldwide, it is supported worldwide, and the numbers that we bring are up in the 90s to 100 people per event, 17 to 20 countries per event. If that helps the ISA and the Paralympic push, then we're happy to do that. Well, and I think that there's a slight misconception of what's going to be accepted in 2028. It's not going to be 9 divisions like the ASP has. We have 9 divisions, and so does the ISA. They have 9 divisions. It would be really hard for the Paralympics to say we're going to accept all 9 divisions. So I think there's a slight misconception of like everybody's going to go. Not everybody's going to go. They're going to pick 2 or 3 divisions that are that they have medals for. You really have to understand the Paralympic platform and the structure of it. That there's only 22 sports that get in. If adaptive surfing does get in, it's only going to be an exhibition sport. It's not part of the 22 structure, so they'll have to reapply for the 2032 Paralympics. So it's not, if they say yes to this, it's only as an exhibition sport.
Oh.
They apply to try to get into the structure of 22 sports, and then there's only so many medals that they give away in those 22 structured sports. So they'll have to only accept a few divisions. They can't, 9 divisions plus times 4. That's I don't know, 30 something medals that they're going to have to give away, and that's not part of their structure. They would have to be stealing medals from another sport to give away medals in adaptive surfing. So because of that, the structure will be slightly different, and it will be maybe 3, hopefully 3 or 4, but I'm thinking probably 2. And it might be 2 different divisions from the men's and 2 different divisions from the women's. It might not even be the same ones per gender. It just might be 2 of this and 2 of that. So might be a wider version, and maybe that helps. If they can see 2 different divisions in the women's than they see in the men's, maybe that helps pull more divisions in the 2032 aspect of it. When they do have to reapply, maybe then they get 4 divisions in of both genders, and what that looks like. But it's a hard thing to fit that in there, and I don't think a lot of people understand that not every division is going to get in. It's going to be vastly different than when it gets accepted.
Okay, see, I didn't even know that.
Well, and a lot of people don't. I'm not trying to put a dim light on it. I'm just trying to be honest about it and be very transparent about what's going to happen. Because a lot of people are going to be disappointed and say, why isn't my division in? In the Paralympics, no Paralympic sport has a assisted division where they're able to advance the athlete through the field of play, hands-on. That's, adaptive surfing in the assisted division, you're advancing a disabled athlete through the field of play, which is the water. So, they're going to look at that, and I don't know how they're going to judge that, and if they're going to say, yeah, it's the biggest division. The assist division is it's the biggest division commonly at every event. So it's actually the division that really kind of started adaptive surfing competitively. So it's, I'm a little anxious to see what they're going to do with that and how they're going to do it and how they're going to structure it. Because a lot of people are putting in a lot of work and travel and doing all that stuff trying to get this done. So we're all anxious to see them. We're all kind of sitting on pins and needles to see if that happens. And again, that's not our main focus, but we're very interested in helping that platform get pushed over the edge and get that acceptance for 2028. We want the U.S. Open and the ASP, the final stop of the tour. We want it to be a celebration of adaptive sports, music, food, and we're trying to create that festival atmosphere with the Stoke For Life Festival that's going to be attached to the U.S. Open. So it's something new that we're doing this year. And we're just trying to pump it up, and we're trying to build a bigger platform for the venue and for the event. So that's part of it. It's all going to be hand in hand, and we're going to have a giant award ceremony this year. So normally we would give our awards and we would crown our world champion on the beach. We're not going to do that this year. We are going to have a banquet ceremony up at most likely the Seabird Hotel up above, and it'll be probably at about 6 p.m. So everybody will finish up on the beach at about 2 or 3 o'clock, and they'll have a few hours to go get ready and get dressed up and come to the award ceremony. And yeah, we're going to put on a really awesome award ceremony, and we're going to crown U.S. Open champions. At the end of that, we're going to crown ASP World Champions, and then we're going to have what's called the ASP Awards, where we're going to have Surfer of the Year, Man and Woman. We're going to have Rookie of the Year, Man and Woman. We're going to have Most Inspirational Surfer. And we're just going to have a really cool award ceremony that we can celebrate all these athletes coming from different countries and having completed this 4-stop world tour and traveling all over the world. We want to have a celebration at the end of that. We don't want to just crown our champions and give away checks on the beach. We want to have them have a really awesome ceremonial atmosphere and lift them up higher than we've ever done that before. So yeah, we're going to do a really awesome award ceremony this year.